Welcome to If I Did It, a show where we analyze and solve PR kerfuffles from the MMA world and beyond. I'm your host, Alexi Auld, and joining me as always is Kid Native Bloody Elbow and EUGENE'S Robinson of Aussie.com and author of Fight Everything Everyone Knows About Ass Kicking. We're afraid to get your ass kicked for asking.
As well as a long, slow screw, paternoster, and the inimitable sounds of love. Hey,
So
man,
yes.
I love your book, 7 Secret Sources of Inspiration for the Procrastinators, but I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. Procrastinating. Get it? No, I read the first bit. I'm working my way through it.
All right, working your way through my book, babe.
With a burning love inside. I guess you've been to that clinic.
So, speaking of clinics, Eugene.
Sir.
Your newly crowned UFC welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley. Within 24 hours of becoming champion at UFC 201, your photo appeared on a Reddit MMA post showing what some suspect to be signs of repeated steroid injections. Do you engage in any proactive PR to smite this Scooby-Doo mystery, or ignore these meddling kids from letting you get away with enjoying your glory?
All right, being that I'm a steroid expert and have not seen the photo, what exactly did you see? And I'll tell you right away.
So there's like little triangle of bumps that was in there was a post a week or so ago with Johnny Boney Joni that had the same like little triangle of
what
bumps.
What part of his
Near
body?
his stomach.
No, fuck no. Are you crazy? People, are you crazy? Look, let me walk you through this. Let me walk you through this. Okay, can you see the lower part of my body?
Oh Lord.
I can see your belly.
Okay. you see Nate's face. He's like, oh.
This is a syringe. If I am alone and trying to keep secret counsel and want to inject myself with steroids, as a right-hander, I am doing this. You're not going to see nobody is injecting in their abdomen. Why the fuck would you do that? That doesn't even make any sense to me. The guys on Reddit are fucking morons, man. This is, maybe if he's left-handed, you have it. I mean, the biggest problem is that you build up so much scar tissue on the side of your dominant hand that maybe you go to a secondary spot, which is injecting it into your quadricep. That's a secondary spot. The tertiary spot for guys who abuse steroids would be to shoot it in the shoulder. Nobody's shooting it in the abdomen. Stop it. However, that being said, Tyron Woodley looks like a kind of guy who might be taking steroids. I don't know. Let's presume he's going to pass a drug test, and then becomes a non-issue. But there you go. If I'm him, I don't grace it with a response because it's clearly made by people who know nothing about steroids.
What's your take, Nate?
I agree. It's a pretty silly accusation. I mean, unless he's getting like a battery of rabies injections because he was bitten by a possum or something. There's
a possum that had steroids.
Exactly. Well,
kangaroo meat, man. Kangaroo meat.
It won't be long before some MMA fighter comes up with that as an excuse. But yeah,
man,
what Woodley needs to do.
Rabies shots. The animal just happened to be laced with steroids and HGH.
Loaded up. It was a fiendish plot by my opponents to get me to fail test. But no, what Woodley needs to do and what he's doing and is brilliant. I loved the way he dissed Wonderboy Thompson immediately after the fights. Wonderboy is just rubbing his hands and salivating about a fight, and Woodley's like, sorry, kid, I want to fight the Diaz's. I want to fight GSP. You're not money enough to fight me. And that was just genius because even if Thompson is the next fight, it creates a whole new level of friction. It's much better than trying to stir up shit between him and Thompson. It gets him talking back and forth with Nick Diaz, which he's already been doing, which is money. Gets him in the conversation with GSP, which has been happening, which is money. So I think Woodley's handling his new reign as UFC welterweight champion brilliantly. And my reservation with Woodley is just the dude's been hurt for most of the past 2 years, and I hope that he stays healthy and fights more often than he has in the past. But so far, long live the king, man. He's already
embracing the
way
hate.
ahead.
What I like
probably
is the fact, and he's totally embracing the hate. What I like about that is the fact that when he got the title shot, like even when he beat Conor, like, oh, fluke injury, and then not deserving. And then he gets the shot, not deserving, and then he wins. Yeah, he won, but not deserving. So instead of trying to embrace people, it's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I want money. As opposed to let's as opposed to like the Johnny Boy Johnny thing.
But I'm giving some credit. I'm giving credit to Nate Diaz, because finally, I mean, what I'm looking at this is what's happening is guys have finally woken up and smelled the fucking coffee, right? It's like, oh, well, I was stuck in this kind of Olympic freestyle wrestling orientation where, there are brackets, and I'm going to look at the next guy in my bracket. You could fight a guy number 2, number 3, number 4. Nobody cares. Get your head around that. No one cares. And Wonder Boy Thompson, nobody cares. You know who cares? Wonder Boy Thompson. Maybe some guys from his hometown. People want to see money fights. Give them money fights. How do you lose? If you lose a money fight, well, nobody's calling getting $5 million losing, really, are they? You lose maybe you don't get another one. I got $5 million. What do I care? Even with the tax rate in America, if I'm smart, I can ride this out, So I think and the reason money fights are called money fights because everybody wants to pay money to see them. Right. That's simple, man.
Exactly.
So run along, Wonder Boy. I mean, in other words, what they're having a professional care, don't care moment. And Woodley is going, Wonder Boy against me? I don't care.
Exactly. But the beauty of it is, even if all they can get him is Thompson, it sets that fight up to be even bigger because it has this whole the champion's trying to duck him. Who's this guy who's so tough? The champ's trying to duck him, which is a combat sports narrative at least as old as Jack Johnson, and it always builds heat for a fight. So I'm all for it.
Yep.
I think it's also funny. Also, Woodley was like, "Oh yeah, I was introduced to Ari and the new owners, and I already have a couple of movie offers in wake of mine."
This cements it.
There's a point in certain, pushing certain buttons in terms of like company guy, being a company guy, but not on its face like being an ass licker.
Well, but this is something that we've seen in bas relief with both Honda and Kungle. You lose fights, the movie offers go away. You win fights, the movie. What are you going to be fighting in the movie? No. Why were people in the movie? Are you any less tough because you have 10 lines in a movie? No. But they want. It's a weird. If I win a baseball game wearing white underwear, and I think the white underwear has something to do with me winning the baseball game, I'm wearing white underwear every baseball game. It's the same thing, man. People are talking about, dude, now the movie roles coming in. Stretch it out, get some under your belt, get your SAG card, get some royalties happening. Like you've seen me still getting money for Leonard Part 6, 55 cents, but that's 55 cents I didn't have before from a job I did in 1987. Yep. Make money.
Exactly.
Or who's it? Get money.
That's right. That was Biggie.
Yep.
So, speaking of money and getting something, Nate, your Golden State Warriors player Draymond Green.
Yeah, boy. Sorry.
Your penchant for penile provocations puzzles me. Groinshots galore throughout the NBA playoffs. Suspended for seizing LeBron James's junk. Delinquently displaying a dick pic on Snapchat. And lying about being hacked. You later apologized. Quote, I kind of hit the wrong button and it sucks. It was meant to be private. We're all one click away from placing something in the wrong place, and I suffered from that this morning. End quote. What PR can you possibly posit for those who aren't so keen on your peen?
Well, he backed away from the stupid I got hacked thing. I really don't know what you do at this point. I mean, it could be worse. He could have been tweeting penis pictures that underage girls. Was that James Franco that was doing that, or was he just?
No, it was Franco.
Was he making passes or sending penis pics? I can't remember. But
I think he was doing both, and he was like, "Hey, I don't know." He used the Chuck Berry defense. I had no idea she was 17.
But I believe 17 is legal in New York, so it was just sort of a bad look. It wasn't.
Old.
Yeah,
and but yeah, no, people still hate him. James Franco came up a conversation we were having at a brunch recently, and every woman at the table suddenly hated the guy because of that. And they didn't have any problem when his PR image was, is he in love with Japanese dolls, or is he gay, or does he screw goats? That was all cool. But then as soon as he goes for a younger woman, all the older ladies are pissed. But yeah, as far as Green, just keep
but you know what? You know what? One of our commenters said it best. She goes, as a middle-aged woman, she doesn't really give a shit about young women because she didn't complete the thought. Because the thought is, a man with any discernment at all, if he can't tell a fucking difference, is nobody that she needs to be with anyway. You know. So if middle-aged women, and I find about half middle-aged women realize that, the smarter half, the ones who aren't are chasing 18-year-olds trying to. A friend of mine used to work at UPS, was having sex with some middle-aged woman, and in the middle of it, she's like, how's that compared to 20-year-old?
Oh, Lord.
What? You know, I bet those 20-year-old girls can't do this. He's like, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, so, but I have to right now, look, I have to apologize, and I'm going to apologize to, I guess, America and our listening audience, and I just have to say, the whole penis photo thing, like I invented that, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It fell into lesser hands and has been used poorly, with not nearly the panache or the verve or the style that I introduced it to America. And it was always pretty big in Europe, but I brought it over and started here, and I hate to see guys abusing it, man, and I think I bear some responsibility, so I'm going to apologize right now.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, you got to know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away, and know when to run.
And stop taking pictures of it and sending it to people. That's my advice for Green. Keep it in your pants.
I like that woman who gets a penis pic and then starts sending penis pics back to the guy. And the guy is like, cut it out. And she's like, what? I thought this is how we say hello in your country, you know? So
and then she's like, I'm going to publish this conversation. He's like, what? This is private. And she said, private? You just introduced yourself with a penis pic. Like,
yeah. You see what I mean? People with no imagination. They heard I was doing it. They heard it worked well for me. They just went, you know. Yeah.
I think the key is laying the groundwork and knowing when to hold them and when to fold them and when to snap it and shoot it, you know?
Well, you know what? Talk about laying groundwork. Ooh. Or laying bricks in a wall. It brings us to our next one.
Baby, segue.
That's right. We got this harmonic convergence. Eugene, you're Matt Damon. Actress Constance Wu blasted you for headlining Great Wall, a historical drama about Chinese history and, quote, perpetuating the racist myth that only a white man could save the world, end quote. In addition to other cultural appropriation hotdogging, given your liberal bonafides, what PR is needed to make amends?
All right, here I'm gonna do. You know I'm big on my impressions, so I'm gonna do one right now. Here's Matt Damon. $1,000,001, $1,000,002. What? Oh, hey John Wayne. She's complaining about. Oh, hold on. Tom Cruise. Tom, you playing Tupac Shakur in the new biopic Where My Pictures At, right? Okay. 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. He doesn't give a fuck. What does he give a fuck? Why do they have a black Superman? Yeah, come on, Constance, baby, it's fucking Hollywood. They're gonna fuck us over every chance they get. Are you kidding me? They did the story Mississippi Burning with Willem Dafoe. Suddenly, the civil rights struggle in the South becomes one valiant white FBI's agents. You know, I mean, they could do the Birmingham church bombing, and suddenly John Benet Ramsey is a protagonist. You know, I mean, you know.
And don't you think it's progress too that he's not in yellowface? Hello.
That's why I mentioned John Wayne as Genghis Khan. I mean,
that was the movie that killed John Wayne, supposedly.
No, Green Berets was after that, you know.
Well, but they got exposed to nuclear radiation from the testing in Nevada.
That's right.
And almost multiple people in the cast and crew of that Genghis Khan movie died of cancer, including
a lot of people who made that drive. My ex-in-laws all drove up from Vegas to Eastern Nevada, where the ranch was in Eastern Nevada, and all succumbed. Boom, boom, boom. You know, cancer, blowback from the dust. So I mean, I love the fact that she mentioned it. But it's like saying, my God, today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. God, this is Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. You know, Matt Damon, white guy, saving the earth. What about Tom Cruise, where he goes into Japan and he teaches teaches the fucking samurai warriors how to be samurai warrior. Come on, man.
He masters it in a week.
Yeah, right. In a week, yeah, right.
It takes a minute to learn, a lifetime to master. Not for Tom Cruise,
right.
not for white guys. A minute to learn, a minute to master.
And all the Japanese chicks, he's like having sex with half the country. It's like, come on,
it's Bond flick. That's what it always is. When it come in, and that was the criticism also, I remember, of the whole Bruce Lee dynamic, right? Is the fact that, like, you can't kick our asses and take our women too, so... Yeah. So what's your take on it, Nate?
I think Eugene covered it. I mean, what's Matt Damon going to do? Just unroll hundreds of years of white supremacy? I mean, it's Hollywood. The one question I have is, since Hollywood's so obsessed with the Chinese audience, why don't they use more Chinese actors? Does the Chinese audience want that Hollywood experience? I mean, if you're a Chinese moviegoer and you hear about an American movie, do you want white actors even if it's set in China? I mean, is that like a requirement? Because you could see Chinese stars in your own Chinese movies, like, is that...
Well, I'd be curious about whether the Chinese are as big on westernizing plastic surgery as the Japanese are.
I mean, one thing about the Great Wall movie, and I think these kind of situations, I think is twofold. One is, it's a message to people to realize, no matter how much it hurts, you have to realize, movie's not for you. All right, you see who the intended audience is, and it may hurt the fact that you see these movies come out in books and other things in the media and think like, oh, it's for everybody, oh, it's for me. No, like, there is a target that they have, and it's not you. Number one. Number two.
Yeah, Great Wall is Jason Bourne in China.
Yeah,
that's it. That's how they pitch that,
And number two, you have something in place where, sorry to say this, but at the end of the day, there is some kind of value of individuals that are outsiders feeling value about certain kinds of situations. Now, Great Wall might be different, but in terms of more modern things, in terms of like, oh my gosh, I need to help these people out or save these people. Because when you're talking about trying to convert individuals who are used to a certain kind of dynamic or don't care about certain communities and they can feel empowered to want to help out and do something. Again, Great Wall is not that kind of movie, but in this kind of argument which goes on in more contemporary flicks, at the end of the day, if some guy who has no care or concern for a community of which he's not a member can have a strike of sympathy or concern, and that's what motivates him, whether it's Comandante Marcos with the Zapatista movement or individuals who are outsiders that come in. Like, history's rife with outsiders that come into a situation and want to help out, So at the end of the day, there's that side of it as
outside
well.
agitators.
Somebody just texted me, says, also overseas audiences, particularly Asian audiences, are racist as fuck. They don't like Kevin Hart over there. Can't really feel too sorry for them on the racism front over there.
Damn. Well. Like, stick a fork in it.
Wah, wah, wah. Cue the clown music.
Well, it's almost like, it was funny when Beyonce was doing stuff and people were like, oh, she is culturally appropriating South Asian culture. Then people swept as like, appropriating South Asian culture, that racist culture, the caste system, you don't see dark-skinned people in those movies. It's just, so
and they still have Darky toothpaste.
Oh. But, do they have Wolfie toothpaste? Because, Nate, your Teen Wolf star Tyler Posey, after years of your show flirting with same-sexing scenarios, you left LGBT viewers disappointed for allegedly gay baiting. Last week, you took matters into your own hands and posted under a gay street sign on Snapchat, quote, "This is me, I am this, and this is me. I've never felt more alive, I'm gay," end quote. Then you tweeted, "Although I'm not gay, I fully support the LGBTQ community. This was a moment intended to reflect that," end quote. The problem, nobody's laughing. As a victim of a selfish kind of love, how can you get it right while you got the time?
I don't know how to dig yourself out of this one. I mean, I don't know. When I was
I know how.
Let me tell my little anecdote. The Punk Bar in Austin was a gay bar, but it was a dump. There was a fancy gay bar next door, and when we would play at the Blue Flamingo, we would go to the Naked Grape and get dudes to buy drinks for us, and then be like, "Thanks for the drinks."
Not a Layla.
And apparently, well, hey, Apparently people hate that. So this is kind of the same thing, where he's putting it out there, then taking it back, putting it out there, taking it back. At this point, I think he needs to get caught in, like, he needs to hook up with Michael Sam, the NFL player, or almost NFL player. How about that? Like, maybe get, huh? Huh? I don't know.
The cricket sound effect. So what's Eugene? What's your take on it?
Well, first of all, yeah, I like that. I like that sound effect because I don't know who any of these people are. So, Teen Wolf, Tyler Wolf, whatever the dude's name is. You know what? You know what? Here, I got 2 words for him. Debbie Gibson. I got 1 word for him. Tiffany. You are destined for the dustbin of pop culture history, my friend. But, the thing is, you got to understand that nobody in that community thinks your joke is fucking funny. There's that band, The Frogs, right? Now, I like The Frogs because somebody said, you should listen to this. I listened to The Frogs. Supposedly, they're supposed to be brothers who are lovers, right? And so, the songs are like some kind of fraternity version of celebration of the gay lifestyle. And then somebody who was gay said, you know what? Don't think it's fucking funny. You know what would be funny if they were gay? They're not gay. It's about as funny as a frat guy showing up to a jungle party dressed in blackface. It's not fucking funny, And I'll tell you exactly when it becomes funny. It becomes funny when I can walk down the street with my boyfriend and not get my ass kicked. Then it becomes funny. But until then, this shit is not funny. It's not. Sorry. You want to help out. There are ways that you can help out that are more significant than appearing under some goddamn street sign. So, Well,
that's what's so funny about it is the fact that I didn't know about the show or the actor either, and when you see the fact that there's actually this history of the show, like teasing that something's going to happen and something does it, and then this guy's like an extension of that. So it's just, you talk about you think that there'd be a dynamic in place in which if a show is doing the wrong thing, then you hope that your actors are kind of correcting that, like offsets, or, it's like, hey, look, the show may not have certain things going on, but, like, have some faith and trust in the people that are on the show. Like, we understand your concerns, yada, yada, yada. But, like, the fact that he's kind of stuck in it, too, it's going to... I mean, the only way to get around it is to actually have the show, I think, stop flirting with the issue and actually go full force into the issue. That's the only way he's getting out of it. That's the way the show is going to remove the taint is stop fucking flirting and actually go for home plates.
Well, what I start to think about is that line from that great Bad Brain song where he's like, I and I will survive, when he goes, my living ain't very funny. It's like, you got to understand, man, there are real people having real issues out there outside your stupid joke. But that being said, what is this guy, a kid? How old is he,
Yeah, he's quite young.
Yeah, so...
Well, what's the difference between what he's done and, like, remember when Kurt Cobain used to do interviews with The Advocate or whatever and be like, I'm gay. I don't sleep with men, but I'm totally gay. Like...
Yeah, I don't get the sense that he was joking, right? I mean, I think his argument was semi-nuanced. Like, I have evidenced attractions to men. I just have not ended up sucking dick. But if the situation arose, I would. I mean, saying that he was bisexual in an environment that included Motley Crue on the top of the charts was probably a pretty bold thing to do.
Well, I think also as concerts,
and I'm no Cobain fan.
Yeah, so. Me neither. But I think one thing also is as concerts actually say, like, look, if you are a homophobe, if you're so and so, like, I don't want your money, get the fuck out.
Yep.
It's not just a function of he.
Right.
I'm flirting with this, making fun. It's just like, hey, look, man, we don't tolerate this kind of stuff. So that might not be enough of a distinction for some people, but that's what the distinction is. And speaking about distinctions, Nate, you're Donald Trump.
How cute it was that you thought we'd have nothing to say about Trump come Wednesday.
I didn't. Well, maybe they didn't love you quite as often as you think they could have. Maybe you didn't treat them
didn't love you
quite as good as you should have. Horrid things you've said and done. Are you sorry you were so blind? Because the cons are always on your mind. Why are the cons always on your mind?
Well, Trump's moved on from the con fiasco. And
he likes to think he's moved on.
Well, I think he did. Yesterday, the baby thing, like where he threw the baby out of the rally, that got some news traction. And more importantly, not his refusal to endorse John McCain and Paul Ryan, who are both in primaries and competitive general elections. That actually pissed off the GOP establishment. He can piss on Gold Star veterans all they want. Now, they'll come out and say, well, I disagree with that. I mean, even Cuck-in-Chief Chris Christie came out and said he shouldn't be dissing the cons. So the con thing was a mistake, and it might even be the one that we look back on and say, this is where Trump lost it, because it does seem to be completely beyond the pale, and thank God there's a certain – somebody can draw a line somewhere. But for the Republicans, the only thing they seem to care about is he's not playing team ball. This guy is fucking us. Fuck him. And
so
then
that's why he's stuck on them, is the fact that he knew that in terms of his own party he wasn't losing any currency, or like why did he even bother continuing with it?
I think it's just cheap.
As long as he did.
I think it's either pettiness or he really does want to get out of this race. Like,
no, you guys are giving him too much credit, and this is what some people are finally realizing. It's like
pettiness is too much credit. Like,
no. That this is somehow a car he's in control of. Like, have you ever seen that great movie Magic with Anthony Hopkins and Burgess Meredith? And Burgess Meredith is trying to fire him as his client. So, look, you're fucked up, kid. And he goes, no, I'm fine. You know, he's a ventriloquist. He goes, Take fats down, put fats down for 5 fucking minutes. It's one of the most chilling fucking pieces of cinema ever. Anthony Hopkins takes his dummy, puts his dummy next to him, because it's so easy. I could do this pretty easy. And it's like, he doesn't make it to 5 minutes. Spoiler alert, doesn't make it to 5 minutes. But the 90 seconds that he's trying are excruciating. And I've now come to the conclusion, like the other Eugene Robinson from the Washington Post, that this is a man driven by fucking compulsions. Any smart politico, any fucking savvy opportunist would have gone, stepped in this shit. I got to get out. I got to get, like the Ukraine thing. Like he goes, well, I didn't mean in. I meant in. There's other. You try to fucking, somehow you try, and he doubles down, and that doesn't work, and he keeps fucking pushing. He could have just kept his fucking. What, he's going to go through the whole DNC, and at point by point, he calls it General George Allen a disaster as a general. That's just his go-to thing now. Obama's a disaster. He's a disaster as a candidate. New York City's a disaster under Bloomberg. It's a disaster. I told you, it's a lot of months till November. The guy is fucking, his scow is scraping the bottom. There's nothing left in this fucking tank. There's nothing. And he can't stop himself. And that's I think, what's more telling. He can't leave the dummy on the couch for 5 minutes and say, I'm a bigger man than this. Power has more important things to deal with. I'm great. He's losing people left and right. Fucking Meg Whitman came and turned. Meg Whitman is not an establishment candidate. You got all. She's coming at him from a different reason. She's coming.
Introduce her to the people that aren't familiar with.
Meg Whitman is the CEO of multiple California gubernatorial candidate and CEO at HP, the computer the tech company, and she just ran again for governor of California, lost, but was trying to. Yeah, I mean, she's a mover and shaker, but she's not supporting him because they have a policy divide, even though they do. She's like, he's a pig with. I mean, he started like the Nazis. How many fronts are you going to fight on? There's a point at which, I'll take you all on. Nobody believes it.
Now, Obama pulled a badass jiu-jitsu move yesterday by upping the pressure on Republicans to disassociate themselves from Trump, which puts them in this spot of Trump's saying horrible stuff, so they're already thinking about disassociating themselves from him. Trump's betraying them, like openly shit-talking Paul Ryan and John McCain, so they're really pissed, and they're thinking about openly doing it. A Republican congressman comes out and says, I'm going to vote for Clinton, I'm not going to vote for Trump. And so Obama then jumps in front of this and says, you've got to disassociate yourself, which means if they do denounce Trump and endorse Clinton, suddenly they're Obama Republicans, and they are in a terrible double bind there. They want to get as far away from Trump as they can, but they do not want to be seen as obeying President Obama after spending the last 8 years denouncing him as completely illegitimate. So that was brilliant on Obama's part. He completely put their nuts in a vice with that. As for Trump, I got no advice for Trump. You're in it till November, dude. You're either going to go down in flames before then or go down in flames on Election Day. And also, we haven't mentioned his completely wildly irresponsible allegations that if I lose, it's because it's rigged. Now, there are lots of reasons.
Seeds, though, right?
Huh?
Planting the seeds, though.
Well, he's planting the seeds, but I mean,
this is not going to bear any sort of positive fruit.
It's deeply
dangerous.
irresponsible to do this shit. At the same time, there's all kinds of weaknesses and vulnerabilities in the way we do the elections. There's all kinds of different ways to rig U.S. elections, and he's not seriously addressing any of those. He's just laying this seed to give his gun nut wacko audience an excuse to go ballistic when he inevitably loses.
Freedom of the streets, like the Nazis used to say.
As they still say in Indonesia, the fascist regime there.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Eugene.
Sir.
This is our teachable moment of the week. Your HBO. Last year you bought Sesame Street under what was called, quote, truly winning public-private partnership model, end quote. Last week, the beloved Bob McGrath told the Muppet Cast Podcast that you evicted him, Gordon, and Luis from Sesame Street after living there for a combined 132 years. Fans are irate and you're reconsidering. Can you make things right, or have you tainted your brand by showing your hand as a soulless gentrifier?
Yes. It's that simple, man. You fundamentally haven't understood the appeal of your show if you're going to yank back the curtain and let people see the corporate wires. I mean, people believe Sesame Street is a real fucking street, you know. I mean, I was a little...
Wait a second.
Sorry, spoiler alert. No, I mean, I was a little too old when they introduced Sesame Street. I was of age to semi-enjoy the electric company. But for a lot of people, it's an institution. It's an institution that, like Mr. Rogers, man, it's a beloved institution. People got wrapped up in these lives. You know, I don't see a single piece on Morgan Freeman that fails to mention his or was he Electric Company?
No, he's Electric Company.
He's Electric Company.
He's Electric Company, but they still his start on public television has not been forgotten by many.
Oh, hello.
Oh, we lost Eugene. I think that was the HBO demons shutting him down because of his head. Yeah, they fucked up. This is like the third fuck up since they took over Sesame Street. So I don't know. Bring the cast back by all means. You got to appease this fan base. You're fucking with American history here. Hey, Eugene's back.
Yep.
All right. You froze up.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. We can now hear you.
Sorry, HBO.
No. You were just saying what I was gonna wind up saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just got to fix it. Roll on your belly and piss on yourself because you screwed up. Just make every amend possible. Bring the cast back. Pay them fortunes. Like this is a valuable prestige franchise you've purchased. You got to treat it accordingly. And the cast is a big part of that. And those people have been on that show our entire lives. They deserve some respect.
You know, also, this is the way corporations work. Do you know, it blows me away every time I think about it. And you say, well, what are you talking about, Eugene? Well, I'm talking about Devo. When the guy, I can't forget his name, took over Warner Brothers. Devo had nothing but hit records. And Devo was scheduled to put out, the guys took over the company. He's like looking at the roster, goes, who's this Devo? And they explained a little bit about the band, the concept, showed him a video. He goes, fuck those guys. That was it.
Yep.
That was it. Kicked them off the fucking label, and they put out more records. They kept touring, but that was a completely unsound business decision. And he was allowed to make it.
Yep. Sometimes the corporate pig rolls over the babies in the stall.
Yep. Unknown. Unbelievable. Yep.
Don't be a corporate piglet, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did you have to?
No.
Oh, okay. Now it's time for Eugene's Lost Battalion. Eugene.
Yes.
Anyone in it to nominate?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say everybody should be. All the people, all the members of the Fourth Estate are being super tentative about this, and I'm not gonna be tentative. There are no fighters here. I think this weekend was notable for how many people won through losing. You know, I think Robbie Lawler won through losing. I think. You know, you come out of it smelling better than, not smelling better than when you went in necessarily, but not smelling bad. But I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to turn to the world of politics, and I'm going to say what other people do pussyfoot around. Oh, we've said this before. Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump is in the Lost Battalion. Doesn't fucking realize it. Doesn't realize. He's like, I've gotten out of scrapes before. I can get out of this one. But this shit accretes, and you have until November 8th. And the cons are not going away. The baby's not going away. Now you're on notice. It was easy when there was a field of 17 people, and you know when people got bored of you taking shots at the fat guy, that you could take a shots at the little guy. You could take a shots at the liar guy. You could take a shot at the look at her face. You could Carly Fury. You know you could just you had lots of targets. Just how lying. Jailer, throw her in jail. You're going to repeat that again and again until November? You're fucking done. And you don't realize. I think to a certain degree, your animal instincts are telling you you're done, and you're trying to create kind of diversionary, firefights to kind of. But you are as done could be, man. No, I mean, you got fucking right. I mean, Republicans saying publicly, I'm voting for fucking Hillary because this guy it will be irresponsible to the highest degree for us. So you have world leaders, Hollande saying that he makes, I want to vomit when I see him. I mean, man,
But he got the money Mugabe endorsement. Mugabe,
he got the
Zimbabwe is telling American people in the State Department, you'll be sorry when Trump is president, and then dictators are,
and they're also coming at him. They're not just coming at him from above and from the side. They're coming at him from below too. Like these cats that are like, yeah, he promised me this, he didn't deliver. I guess he's still a good guy. You know, the tax return issue is not fucking going away.
Did you see the father of the little girls who sang the song for Trump are now suing him because he didn't pay him? I mean,
yep. It's like this is now. There's nobody else to look at, man. There's nobody else to look at. There's him and there's Hillary, and that's it. You know, and he's got to play this shit out until November 8th. No way. This is his first week after the DNC. I mean, we can't even keep straight. We actually, without writing it down on a piece of paper, we would have a hard time keeping straight all the fucking kerfuffles. Whether it's Roger Stone saying, well, we think the cons are part of Al-Qaeda. You know, I mean,
Muslim Brotherhood, I think was what
Muslim Brother. I mean, it's like, some of the commenters like, you're what are the sheeple, you libtard, is not supporting Trump. Hey, man, hey, there's a con afoot. And if you haven't seen who's being conned, Jack, it's you. You know, I understand the angry white guy vote, but your man's dead. He's dead.
But don't play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
What?
All right, Angus Young.
Fair and balanced.
Angus Young makes an appearance.
Right. So he's kind of solidifying his base, though, through all these actions, right?
Winnowing and solidifying.
Yes, and also, to a certain degree, energizing that hardcore base and making kerfuffles that to people that don't like Trump are feeding into their hatred and dislike of him, right? But it's kind of rewarding those hardcores that love him. He's thumbing his nose at everything. He's shitting and pissing on everything. He's sticking it to everybody, right? So the fact that he is still staying true to exactly what he has always been, not alienating his base, number one, and number two, don't you think that there's a possibility that by staying so true and making, not to say it's his plan, but the big kerfuffles, the fact that you have Republicans who are turning their back on Trump and going for Hillary, and the fact that kerfuffles are so big that in wake of what Nate said last week, that this is not an election to convince people, it's a turnout election, these hardcores are going to even turn out harder and stronger, whereas the kerfuffles are so big, the whole thing of like, oh my God, we got to stop Trump. There is a lot of time, and the risk is people might say, hey, you know what? By the time November comes, they're kind of like, well, are we voting? Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you vote? Yes. Whereas the hardcore's like, we gotta fucking vote. You know. So is there something to that in terms of
I don't think so.
mobilizing that base?
The thing is, Trump, from the beginning, has ridden his surprisingly good poll numbers. His whole message has been, I'm the winner. I'm winning. Look at the polls. Look at the polls. He had a brief opportunity to do that after his convention where he ties, even edged out Clinton in some of the polls. Now his poll numbers are cratering, and now he reeks of loserdom, and he's in what Paul Krugman is calling a derp spiral, where once he starts failing, he's failing harder and harder. I think there's two other kerfuffles I want to mention. One is his wife's nude picture showing up at the New York Post. I bet you anything the Trump campaign leaked those photos. I think that's hot. The kind of kerfuffle they want to create, because the goal was to distract from all this other bullshit that's going on. Hey, look, shiny object, and I don't think he's going to lose any votes over that. But
he'll lose some evangelicals.
I don't think so. I think the evangelicals have so convinced themselves that Hillary is Satan. These are the same people who forgave Rush Limbaugh for his Vicodin addiction and all that, and can overlook Roger Ailes' various misadventures at Fox. I don't think that that's going to cost them evangelical votes. The evangelical vote is not what you think of when you think of conservative Christian. These are prosperity gospel people. These are wife swappers. These are hypocrites, and they forgave David Vitter for seeing hookers and wearing diapers. I mean, they'll forgive any kind of crap as long as the guy's on their side. But the second one is when Trump gets briefed and the briefers immediately leak. He gets his national security briefing, and they immediately leak the very next day. Trump asked us 3 times why we can't just use nukes. Like, he's going to be getting it from all sides now. He's in the big leagues, and the Washington establishment is rejecting him like a baboon heart. And yeah.
But you guys think it's going to be enough in November for people to, again, his hardcore is going to continue to vote, but in terms of the turnout for people that the never Trumps, you think they'll be mobilized enough to counter that in November?
Yeah.
He barely had the demographic potential to win this anyway. He needs to win like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida, and those are slipping away, and he doesn't have the resources to compete everywhere else. So Clinton's running hard in Arizona and Georgia and places like that the Republicans have taken for granted for a long time, and that
places where their senators and governors hate him.
Yes, like McCain. He just pissed off McCain even more. And so, and then you look at what happened in Kansas last night, where Governor Brownback's, I've been waiting for Brownback and his completely crazy Tea Party people to get swept out of office. I couldn't believe Brownback got reelected after bankrupting the state. And it finally happened yesterday, where the moderate Republicans just slaughtered the Tea Party fools. So I think he's run out the string, man.
Do you think this is a play, though, to get rid of him so they can have somebody else in there so Trump can withdraw?
I'm not even aware of any mechanisms they can steal the nomination away from him at this point. They nominated the guy. They are stuck with him.
Yep. And Pence, I mean, unless he has one of those Las Vegas accidents, you were stuck with him. But Pence
that's what I mean. That's a part of it.
But Pence is like that movie Mephisto, man. Guy makes accommodations to the Nazis. At a certain point, he's poison. Can't do like Himmler, shave off the mustache and, hey, I'm just a lowly laborer. No, we got you, buddy.
Have you been reading Himmler's diaries yet, Eugene?
Yeah, I have. There's nothing new in there. If there was a documentary on Himmler from about a year ago, and they covered a lot of the same stuff. His girlfriend and his illegitimate kids, and everybody has their favorite Jew and all that stuff, And which rivals the Heydrich quote, which was no one escapes our kettle,
Damn.
I thought that was especially hardcore,
The Butcher of Prague.
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us. Follow us on Twitter at Eugene Robinson, at KidNate, at Alexiold. Please give us a thumbs up, Eugene. And leave comments on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. at MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Bloody Elbow. Read Eugene at Ozzy.com. And be sure to check out...
Look at my my Billy Riley's snake pit, Wiggins snake pit thing. That's a good look back.
And be sure to check out all three of us on Amazon.com. We'll be back next week with another edition of If I Did It, and we don't know what we're going to be talking about yet because the PR mistakes have yet to be made.